Hey guys, this is John, and welcome back to another episode of the Meatgistics podcast. For those of you who are joining us on YouTube, you already see that I have a very special guest with us today. We have Brett Walton, owner of Walton's Inc., and kind of the man behind everything here. And we'll get to him in a second. But first, we got to do the most important thing of the day and maybe even of the week, and that's talk about the beer of the day. So I've got something called Lady Midday from Crane Brewing. And this is just another one in my long effort to try to drink everything from Crane Brewing because I love them.
So where's Crane Brewing at?
Missouri.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, wow. That's got a lot going on. Hatch chilies. Yep. So this is a Ghost. So it's a sour ale with hatch chilies, apricots, and mint. I don't pick up any of the mint, but I 100% pick up the hatch chilies and the apricot. So real quick story on chili beer. Before I came down here, I used to work at a beverage store in New York. Mm-hmm. So we were just off campus of RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute. Really smart school. Okay. Like that's where Lisa went. All sorts of smart people there.
Yeah, now I get it.
So we actually never met there, strangely enough.
Yeah.
So all the kids, they're in their 20s, they're always partying, and they wanted to do like beer chugging competitions. Well, I would do that with them because we used to drop off kegs at their frat houses and everything. They pay for it and we deliver it. And I'd always choose Cave Creek chili beer. It had a little chili in the bottom, but it had almost zero carbonation. So you could down it absolutely no problem. And I have all these kids that were in the prime of their drinking watch me destroy them all at chugging. And they're like, how do you do that? I'm like, I like chili beer. But, yeah. What do you got?
Nice. I have a Hop Wizard from Odd 13 Brewing in Lafayette, Colorado. So pretty good. It's that kind of hazy IPA. So I like it.
Yeah, you can't even see through that. He's got that in a glass, and it is hazy enough where there's nothing making all the way through that. That reminds me of, have you ever had, do you like the dragon's milk? It's a stout.
Yeah, yeah.
So they make a blonde, and it looks very similar to that. It's excellent. It's at least as good as the other dragon's milks. The only problem is it's like 5%, where the other ones are like 10.
Dragon's milk, it's like 10.
Yes. Yeah.
Double digit.
We had Dylan's friend Richard on last week from AccuView Weather, and we were talking about one of your son's penchant for incredibly strong beer.
Yeah.
How Dylan won't even bother with anything below 12%. And he doesn't drink much.
No.
Like when we do beer club here, where first Thursday of every month, we get a couple guys around. Everybody buys a few beers, sit around, try them, and talk about them. And Dylan will pass on most of them. He's like, no, I don't want to try that.
He won't. Yeah. If it doesn't look right, he's not going to even try it.
Yep. He's pretty picky.
Yep.
So this is going to be released on the 16th. So we've actually got a couple of things going on today, meaning when this is being released. We've got first round of our holiday sales starts. Mm-hmm. So pre-Thanksgiving sale is starting.
We do sales?
Has no one told you this?
No. Did I approve sales?
I don't know that we ask anymore. I think we just go and do it.
All right.
I probably should have gotten you to sign the adoption papers before I did that. So this round is going to go from the 16th to the 20th. By the time this is released, we've already started doing some free shipping, reduced shipping, and we will continue that for quite a while here, trying to get everybody good shipping rates and have everything in time for not just Thanksgiving, but also for those of you buying Christmas presents early. We'll give you some great options there. We've got a coupon code that is live 1116. So live, and the date this is being released, live 1116. Coupon code can be used for 2 weeks from today. So that's the 16th of November to the 30th of November. It is good at waltonsinc.com only. You cannot use it if you call in. It's good on non-sale items, and it can be used once per customer with a max value of $100. So just get that out of the way. Live 1116. Another thing that should be happening today. So this is weird talking about a day in the future as if it's today. Grinders should show up today.
It should.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Plan.
I am so excited. So we've talked about it a ton of times. We have finally decided to get our own grinders manufactured from us. They are on the way. Just quick, I've talked about it almost too much at this point, but the highlights of what we really liked about these, it's going to have a little bit more powerful motor. It's going to have a little bit higher RPMs. And we did make some adjustments to make sure that it fits with what we consider better plates and knives. Mm-hmm. So a little bit more expensive on the plates and knives, but they do a better job grinding your meat for the first and certainly the second grind. And then obviously the most important is if you have issues with it, we are Waltons. So we are able to help you out with that. A couple of just quick housekeeping things. We just did our first weekly Meatgistics live stream yesterday, since we record this on a Friday. And those live streams are different than our monthly ones. These are designed and aimed far more at meat processing and the science behind meat processing. So yesterday's topic was protein extraction. It went well. We're not expecting the same viewership we get on our monthly live streams, but we're also not giving away anything. We're just talking meat processing. So it has been the busiest, craziest year of my life. I'm 41, 42. I'm something. I'm in that range. I think I'm 41. But with everything going on in 2020, have you been through anything like this before? You've got, 12 years on me? 13?
Yeah, you mean just the personal side?
Yep.
Because, So, no, no. Yeah, I mean, what's going on with the uncertainties day to day because of the restrictions or possible restrictions and of moving around. This makes it very different.
Yep. Definitely different is a good way to state that. One of the things that's different is Waltons is having a very busy year.
Yes.
And we've talked about this in the past, but people aren't going out to restaurants. People got a little weirded out when they couldn't get any cut of beef they wanted at their grocery store. So they started going to their meat locker, their butcher. And I hope what happened is that they found the quality at their processor or butcher was a little bit higher, or they liked the service better. So they seem to be sticking with that.
Absolutely. I'll kind of give the big picture there. So, as a company, I've been doing this 25 years. Started with my dad 25 years ago, and over the last, easy numbers are the last 15 years, our company has grown an average of 15% a year. Nice, solid, consistent growth. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but very much just consistent. Somewhat easy to plan for. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, like I say, I've been doing this 25 years. We are currently at the end of October up 60% over last year. That's unbelievable, and especially as a distributor, to have those kind of increases. That's not a normal thing for anybody in any industry. So why is that? And the two markets that we have we call the home processor, and then we have the commercial processor. And both of those are having, unbelievable years, all because of, we were gonna see growth anyway. We were poised to have a nice year of, a good 15 or 20% growth. But with the COVID, it has done a couple things, and we're not done with them yet. One was, in the summer there, when all of a sudden people couldn't get meat, some of them decided, hey, I'll start processing at home. And so we were seeing volumes of home processors go really high. And then all those consumers out there that went into the small to mid-sized meat processors, which is the bulk of what we sell to, I've had many discussions with our customers. Many of these guys I've known for 25 years, and every one of them thinks this is kind of the new normal, that many consumers went to the small butcher shops, meat processors, and enjoyed the experience they had. It's a different experience than going into a grocery store and, buying whatever's there.
Oh, yeah.
And, maybe they ask for something special, or maybe they just like how fresh it is, or maybe they like knowing that, some small processors, are slaughtering there in the plant, and that's the meat that you're buying. And some of them are still bringing in boxed beef, but, it's still a little bit different experience than the grocery store. So we think much of that, it won't probably stay at the high level, but it's not going to drop that much. So it's kind of the new normal, and that's what we've done at Walton's anyway, is we think that it is close to the new normal. So in the last 6 months, we've done a lot of things to get to up our ability to handle the higher volumes in orders, and whether that's it takes all things. It takes customer service and sales, accounting,
Yep.
and certainly warehouse,
and obviously media.
And media,
Of course.
yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
Well, you guys are already doing it, so
Yeah, we were already carrying the bulk of the load.
yeah, and we just dump more on you.
Of course.
So
Go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
So I have no idea where I was going with that now, John.
We were talking about.
No. So, I mean, it's created lots of opportunities and lots of challenges along the way. From a professional standpoint, one of the harder years that I've been involved with here,
For sure.
because of that and the challenges. Well, I think we're in a pretty good spot now, but the crazy thing is, you talked about the grinders. In a normal year, we would have had those about 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But everything slowed down. Everything slowed down on the supply chain.
Well, in a normal year, we probably still wouldn't have done that. That was probably at least a year off for us doing that. We probably would have just brought in extra Weston. I mean, that's at least what I'm imagining we would have done. Not privy to everything, but.
And we're still, and we're making changes. Right before I walked in here, I was told a shipment just came in on some product that we weren't sure when was going to come in. But we also have another vendor, a large vendor, and I'll say it, Weston,
Mm-hmm.
Who can't ship us anything because whatever reasons, they're unable to ship from their warehouse. And so we will be replacing the Weston stuff with other products we're able to get now. Like I say, some of it came in today. So the other part will be the grinders. Yeah, we'll have our own grinders, and then we don't need to wait on that manufacturer, which is what we want to do because we want to control that supply chain coming to us as much as we can. Although we know right now the supply chain is slow coming from all parts of the world. And, I don't know if I can talk about that, but just to explain, we bring in items from all over the world, and anybody that is selling products in the U.S. that's not just a manufacturer understands that we all would love to buy American, but that's just not reality because there's not enough manufacturing in the U.S. So we source from all over the world. We bring in right now. I can tell you off the top of my head, we would have shipments waiting on from France, from Spain, from Australia, from Asia on the commercial side, big commercial equipment. Mm-hmm. And then we're probably certainly Asia right now waiting for more of the home processor stuff that we've got some shipments coming in from them, some from India for commercial stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, in Wichita, Kansas, we draw from all over the world. And right now, when they're taking 2 or 3 weeks longer than normal to get here, mm-hmm. That always puts a strain on you.
Yeah, so. When it already was, I mean, there's a reason for the term slow boat. And these are large containers that are loaded onto one of those super tankers and sent on over. It already takes some time. Then, do you want to talk about tariffs?
Yeah, and we're paying some tariffs, and for the most part, at least one of our larger manufacturers, they took a little bit of a cut. We weren't able to raise prices due to the market. So we're basically selling about the same price we were, and we're taking a bigger cut and a bigger hit on it. And the manufacturer's taking some of it. So we're thinking that maybe it was going to go away. And that's been over a year ago. Yeah. So, but hopefully that turns out well, and hopefully it's the right thing to do. And ultimately we can maybe force that trade partner into a little better agreements going both ways. So
sure. Yep.
Hopefully it turns out good.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, crazy time right now outside of that in the US, but
right now too, there's a tremendous amount of volume coming from Asia, back to the US. Like I said, you talk about a slow boat. The amazing thing is though, I can get a container from Asia or Australia in 3 weeks from the time it leaves there. Right now, the problem is there's so much volume if I tell them I have a shipment ready, it might take 2 weeks to pick it up and get it to there. And then they may hang around out a little while in the ocean because maybe there's a backlog at the port to get them off. So all of a sudden I have doubled my ship time from 3 weeks to 6 weeks. So when you, on one hand, you go, well, it's only 3 weeks more, but then you look back and you go, no, that's double.
Yep.
That's double. And when you're looking at inventory volumes and inventory control, you only have so big of a warehouse, and you try to keep the stuff moving in and moving out. And
you add that on top of a very large increase in demand for a lot of these products. So they're going out faster.
So yeah, we talk about what we are with the commercial processors. We're planning on, the next 60 days here is the peak time for the home processor. There's many guys and men and women that do it all year round, but there's a certain amount of people that, they're harvesting, deer, elk in, the end of the year here. And now's when they're buying their supplies. They're predicting, and I've talked with people in the outdoor industry across the country, and they're predicting the largest hunting season in a long time. So we think the volumes on the home processor are going to be quite a bit higher than they've been the last couple of years. So what does that look like? I'll check back at the end of December, and then we'll know.
If any of us are still sane,
yes.
We might all be raving madmen by then. So you said something earlier today, and this is, I don't know if this will be inside baseball and interesting to people or not, but 30% of our business is now going towards retail. When I started, I believe it was closer to 5%. Right, it was like 95% commercial. So look back 6 years. I've been here 5-6 years, something like that. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it was probably more than that. It was probably 10 to 15.
Okay. All right, but still,
but no, it's increased.
That is a good.
And 30 was last year, and it could be higher than that this year, but it might not. I couldn't even tell you what it is right now for the year.
But if we say conservatively, it's going to be 30 again. That's a doubling in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. So our commercial business continues to grow, but the home processor retail business, that has grown at a faster pace. Yes, it has.
So I think, and hear me out before you react to this, I think YouTube is a big portion of that, but I'm not saying our YouTube channel. I think the ability of people to find any information they want on a how-to on a site like YouTube has changed people's willingness to try new things. I think people are now like, in the past, they just dropped their deer off at, Bob's deer processor. And now they're willing to, no, I'm going to try and make my own snack stick. And I'm not saying this because of our videos. I'm saying because YouTube has changed the culture in a certain way to people are more comfortable trying things for the first time on their own because they know they have that security blanket of information and how-tos out there.
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't matter if you're making sausage or we were talking about earlier today, you're putting a belt on your car or whatever, or you're fixing your refrigerator at home. You pull up YouTube and see how to do it.
Yeah.
And, what does that grow, what do we attribute that growth to specifically here? And I can honestly tell you, I'm not totally sure because we do so many different things, and we keep always trying to do a lot of different things well, and constantly, pushing to grow. And sometimes you're not really sure which one of those it was, but you just keep doing them all because it's working.
Yes. So Austin and I talk about this all the time. We're not good scientists. We do not make, and I don't mean Walton's as a whole. I mean, when we try something different with meat processing, we do not make one change so that we can then identify, hey, that was what made it. We'll try like 3 new things. And we're like, all right, well, that's way better. But then we have to go back and find out which one of those 3 things it actually was, or if it is a combination of all 3.
It's kind of a lack of patience, probably.
Yeah, probably. There's a little bit of that here, without a question. So with increased volumes and increased time to bring products in, one of the things we will run into is back orders. Mm-hmm. So it's just going to happen. I hope people listening to this can understand. We know it's incredibly frustrating to order something, not get everything, but it's not like we're playing favorites and shipping it to somebody and not you. Orders are filled in the manner they come in.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't think we talked about that the other day, but it's extremely frustrating from our point of view, from mine, because I've always been really interested in and always enjoyed the whole inventory control part. And this time of year, we wind up with back orders more than we do probably a higher percentage, just because the volumes are bigger. But there's always 1 or 2 items or 1 or 2 vendors that all of a sudden, for years they were at 2-week lead time, and all of a sudden they're at a 6-week lead time. And we didn't plan for that. It's not like we don't want to order enough. Trust me, we want to order enough so that it's all here and it goes out the same day. But I actually saw a comment on one of the web's reviews that somebody said there's too many items stocked out, and that was their complaint. And I looked at that, and how sometimes if somebody criticizes you, you get kind of defensive about it. I looked at it and I'm like, you're exactly right. I feel the same way. But like I say, we have that vendor, Weston, who has told us since August that they were going to ship our stuff within 2 weeks. And here we are in November, and they still can't tell me when they're going to ship hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. So we can't just switch that up to other vendors really quick always. Right. We are working on it. Like I said, some stuff just came in today that I think is going to allow us to start shipping some orders and replace it. But when we have a vendor that we have a good relationship for many years, which, yes, Weston we've sold for more than 10 years, we expect that they're going to continue to operate the way they have in the past. And when they don't, they're the manufacturer and we're stuck because we are just buying from manufacturers. We're not building it ourselves here in our building. So I spend more of my time on inventory control issues than I probably do anything else in the building. When we have back orders, that I take that personal, and it makes me crazy. And so it's something that we're working on. And if you do have a back order and you talk to customer service and they tell you that it's going to go out, October 25th, and October 25th comes and goes, and you get mad and you call up and you yell at the customer service, please don't, because they're giving you the best information they have. And that information is the best that we have that was given to us by a vendor. Right. And that vendor's shipping to us. And if they say it's October 25th, that's what we tell you. And most of the time we pad a day or two. If they say it's going to be the 25th, we might say, hey, it's going to be the 26th, 27th. But because you can't always be sure that you can get trucking the same day, because there's a backlog in trucking in the U.S. right now. So there's stuff that normally gets here in 2 days that's taking an extra day or two right now. So it's just crazy all over the place. And some of it's COVID related and some of it's just, the economy's starting to roll again.
Yeah. So, and as far as padding the days, I mean, something that we always did when I was in customer service, or at least always try to do, was under promise and over deliver.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're saying, I will do my best to get it to you on this date, but there's possibility, and then try and get it there early. Just a good thing for anyone at home who's doing anything with a business where it's customer facing. Under promise, over deliver is a good way to run your business.
But I will say this too, is if it does come in on the 25th, it goes out on the 25th.
Yes.
We don't hold an order because we told you it was going to ship 2 days later. When it comes in, we get in, say we get a container in, or we get a truckload in of something, and it's been back ordered, something that was way behind. Obviously it's not the norm, but if that does happen, they check them in receiving, and they don't even put the stuff on a shelf until they run what we call on demand, which is the back orders. And then they pull it off of the skids that it comes in on, and it goes right to shipping from there. So.
Yeah. And we really do need to do this. We said we would do it when we had Taylor on, but we need to go back there and get some B-roll of the setup we have and just interpose it over this, because it is a really slick operation. And I do want to get there, but I want to bring up one thing first, because you said that you really like the inventory control and all that. And I got to tell you, you did it earlier today. You're a very happy person, but you absolutely light up anytime you tell me about how you got to go to another business's warehouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, your eyes get bright.
Oh, yeah.
You just love that.
Yeah. If you can see how, other people are processing orders and what we can learn from that on how we can, because we started out from, and I've been on before, and we talk a little bit about where we came from, where we were and where we are now. And when we started 25 years ago, we had a little metal cart that was, I think it's about 40 inches long and 20 inches wide. And that was our UPS cart. So we would load up orders on that. And when we got to busy season, we actually had 2 of those carts. They're a green cart. They're still back in the warehouse. And so during busy season, sometimes we'd use that second cart. And now we have a UPS semi that backs up every day. And we load that semi up with everything that's going out that day. So, and there's already been one Monday when it got really close to being a full semi and having to maybe have another one. So that's a lot of steps along the way. And maybe you're going to get to it later. We're looking for what is next after that. So.
Yep, we will be. So while we're talking about back orders, things that don't go right, why don't we talk about how often things do go right?
That's always good.
Yes.
So we track what we call fill rate. And fill rate is the percentage of items that ship the same day they're ordered. And so even though I get frustrated by back orders, and some of our customers get frustrated with back orders, currently, at the end of October, our fill rate on seasonings for the last 30 days has been 99.some%. Our fill rate for other supplies is about 98%. Be honest, the part that's dragging us down is the equipment. The equipment that mainly is the commercial equipment that we're waiting on from all over the world. That drags our percentage down overall. But the stuff that people use every day, casings, seasonings, staples, tape and paper and vacuum pouches, all that kind of stuff, we're 98, 99%. So we feel pretty good about that, because we try to keep it above 98%. That's what we shoot for. If we drop below 98% fill rate on those items, then we know we have a problem. So we have been manipulating our, ever since COVID hit, we have been manipulating our software that tracks inventory, and trying to tell it, every month I go in and say, no, you calculate, 100 units. I want you to calculate 150 units. Mm-hmm. So we've been manipulating that so that it keeps ordering more and more, trying to stay ahead.
Yeah. And the software is obviously very good. It's very intuitive to a certain point, but you almost can't set it to be aggressive enough.
Well,
it keeps reverting.
I think we could have been better through this pandemic The problem is with the software that we have, I've looked all over it and there was no little checkbox that said global pandemic, check here. And then it would automatically adjust everything. So, who knew in the summer that we were going to be running volumes like we normally have in the fall.
Right.
So the computer goes back over 3 years' time and calculates based on your 3 years of activity. So it wasn't guessing that we were going to have those kind of volumes. So that's why after we got, a month or two into this last, April, May, and realized something was going to continue, I go in and, I put in some new rules for it that I can do, but I also go into it every month. At the first of the month, it recalculates, and then I go in and I adjust it beyond that.
And if there was a global pandemic button, it almost certainly would have put it in the wrong direction.
Well, yeah.
It would have said,
no,
it would have
thought, like there's so many businesses that are hurting, especially if they're restaurants or service kind of industries. But I know a lot of other businesses like us that it's done the opposite to. So that has made a boom out of it.
There is no telling. It's just been one of those things. But that global pandemic button, I think that's a 2021 upgrade. That'll be there. That'll be there in the future.
Yeah.
So we got this perspective from Taylor a couple of weeks ago on how and why it's so important, how we do it and why it's so important that we do it, that we ship orders the same day they're ordered. I want to relate a quick story and then ask you for why you think it's important to ship something to the customer the first day they get it. I've got a dog. I have two dogs. They're both very large, but one of them has severe anxiety to the point where I have to give him multiple medications a few times a day. I love this dog probably more than a human should love an animal. I would probably save its life over some humans. But I ordered him a bed that was supposed to be anxiety relieving. It's got a little burrow he can get into, and he does like to burrow.
Like a sleep sack?
No, it's not that. It's a big round bed with edges, and it's designed for them to be able to like kind of push into the corner. So very excited for it. Ordered it. Nothing. Didn't hear anything on it shipping. Finally get a shipping notification. The entire thing is in Chinese. Like literally, the only English on there was the numbers for the tracking number.
Yep.
I tried running it. I was so frustrated. Like, here's
you didn't
something.
Use Google Translator for
No,
that?
I did.
Okay.
That's how I did it eventually. And that made no sense. Here's something that I'm hoping to, because I don't have children, but my dogs, and I used to say dogs aren't kids, but I treat my dogs like children. It's kind of sad, actually.
It would have been cheaper to have kids.
It probably would have. One of them has eaten a hole through three doors.
And kids get to mow the lawn for you. And your dogs are never
I don't get any benefit from these things. Yeah. But so I was very frustrated about that. I will not order anything else from this company again. Tell us why in your mind, and how long have we been shipping items same day? Have we always done that?
We've always done that.
Always.
Yeah.
Back from when it was just all you guys picking the orders, shipping them
we used to cut off at noon.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to cut off at noon. And so that brought up a nice conversation between my dad and I. And I said, why do we cut off at noon? And he goes, well, because, we got to get the orders out. And I go, well, we got more time than that. And so I said 3. And he's like, well, we can't do that. And I said, well, let's do it. We just got to say we're going to do it.
Right.
So we did it at 3. And so we did it at 3 for years. And then one day I said, well, this is ridiculous. Why don't we do it at 4:30? So yeah, it just kind of evolved farther and farther, because why say you can't do something? Why not say you can do something and then figure out how to make it work? So other companies do it, but not a lot.
I think we're not going to get into this too deeply, but I think part of what makes a business successful, and I've been lucky enough to work for a lot of small businesses in my life, is somebody behind everything saying yes, like, yeah, we can do that. Yes, let's do that. Yes, let's figure it out. Instead of somebody who's just a a constant worrier who would be like, I don't think let's not do that. Let's not do that. And I'm not saying you don't worry. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
But the attitude of, yes, we can do that. Yes, we will. Or at least we're going to give it our best shot is what tends to separate successful businesses from ones that fail. But
yeah, well, the people that are here obviously embrace that, and it's important to them to make sure that the orders, do go out, and that's from customer service all the way through shipping.
Yep, absolutely. When we had Taylor on here, we drove it home again. But whether you call in, put your order in online, fax your order in, email, like whatever you're doing, shipping is the one department that's touching that every single order. And just in the time I've been here, the shipping department has changed drastically. So I was not ever at the old building. I've only been here. And I've only ever been here since the addition was on. I wasn't here when it was the two smaller ones. But in that time, we've added a insane amount of racks. So we have three new rows of racks?
Well, we added one down the middle of the main aisles, and then some secondary aisle.
So that's one down each main aisle.
But we expanded all 5 of those main aisles. So we expanded the length of them and added one in the middle, and then put some rack on the end of the warehouse. So we picked up, I want to say off the top of my head, 150 or 200 pallet spaces.
Okay.
This late summer, early fall. So along those lines, you talk about going and touring someplace. So anytime somebody has a warehouse and especially with any kind of automation at all, I have an opportunity to go look at it. I will. I'd love to go look and see what other people have done and how we can apply that. Yesterday, we did have a gentleman in here from a company talking about some possible things we can do different. The space that we have, we're not going to get a lot more out of the space we have. So I've had an architect in this week and talking about what that might look like. Will that be next year? I couldn't tell you yet from where we are. I'll know more after the end of the year. We're not at capacity right now. We can make it through this fall. There'll be days where it's a little longer. But we're going to make it through. We're going to produce the orders. If we can get the product in, if we can get it from the manufacturers, we'll get it out the door. We're sure of that. We're sure we've projected out what the package count will be, and we know we can do it. But will we need more space for inventory, say going into next year? But I would say if we don't do something next year based on what we're looking at right now, assuming this business continues at or near the level that it is, and then we have our continued growth that we've experienced over the years, that I would expect probably, if not next year, the year after, we'd be adding onto the warehouse. So.
And that obviously depends on some things that go on with properties right around us. But if you are able to do that, do you have something in mind for square footage you're wanting to add, like a number, just whatever we can or have to? So a few of the big changes, at least from a visual perspective back in the warehouse, are I don't even remember how they got orders down to the trailer before we had the conveyor belt. How
they went on a cart.
They all went on
a pallet. We'd put it on a pallet.
Pallet.
Yeah, they would go on a pallet, I guess, mostly. They'd stack them on a pallet, and then we would pick them up with a pallet jack and wheel them 100 and some feet down to the trailer, and then unload them off there into the trailer.
Yeah, far more efficient now.
So and before we had a semi from UPS, they would come by with their box truck or their regular ground trucks, like you see them drive around the neighborhoods, and there'd be all these pallets sitting there, and then it would take them like an hour to load all these pallets of product.
Yeah. How many of those would they have to send on an average day now?
They couldn't. Yeah,
that's never going to happen.
That wouldn't work.
They'd hate us.
Yes.
And then we have now the zero turn or whatever it is, the pallet lift that can fit down the more narrow
Right. That's
aisles.
one of the things we did this year to get more space in the warehouse was we went to a narrow aisle with a lift that works in a narrow space instead of a forklift, because our racks are 16 foot high at the top. So our warehouse is a minimum of 20 foot clearance. So we've got 16 foot of rack, and then you still have room for 4 foot plus of a pallet on top of that. So we had to buy a special little kind of pallet jack looking thing
to fit down.
They call
there.
it a stacker.
Yep.
And that goes up and pulls stuff off the top or whatever. And it does it in about a 9 foot aisle. So
yeah,
it's always something, John. It's always continuing to look ahead as we continue to grow and looking ahead at what next year might bring. And do we have enough, do we have enough volume, to get past that, enough capacity to handle that volume is what I should say. But like I say, that's stuff that's fun for me to calculate that and figure that. So, and as long as we keep growing, then I get to keep having fun trying to do that and make sure then the customers get the orders out, because that's, a couple things on that. Why send out the same day? To be honest, there's a couple parts of that. Number one is the customer's most satisfied. But the other part is they already paid for it. If they bought it online and they, their card goes through and they paid for something, they deserve for it to ship.
Yep.
And the other part is if they're paying for it and we're taking their money, why not do it fast and, take the transaction, and that's a sale. And from a business perspective, I want to do the sale and make the customer happy and then be ready for the next one.
And I really do think, obviously, the quality of the product is incredibly important. Customer service is incredibly important. But I think Amazon and other services like that have trained us to mentally reward same-day shipping with continued orders. I think the fact that we ship things to people right away really does kind of trigger something in their mind where they're like, okay, I trust that I can keep going back, go back. So I do think, definitely think shipping the same day is important for us.
You bring up Amazon, and we've been doing same day shipping for years. I can't even tell you when we went to that, or up till like 4:30. For 10 years probably. Mm-hmm. One of the things is the economy changes with the Amazons of the world out there, and people not buying from smaller places and making it so easy to go to Amazon. We position ourselves differently, and that's why you guys are here, is because, and that's why we have commercial salesmen that work with our commercial accounts, is we thought we were going to have to be something different. We were going to have to give somebody more than just that package that comes to their door. So, and that's information. And that's what you guys spend a lot of your day doing, is providing information to customers. And that's what our commercial salesmen do and our customer service does. That's what makes us different. There's many items that we sell that somebody could go to Amazon and buy for a near the same price as we're selling it for, but that's all they get. They don't get any of the information, the knowledge.
Right. Yeah. And the whole, the reason we created Meatgistics was to make sure that people got the most out of their orders. The retail customers, at least, didn't really have the access to the commercial salesmen have a wealth of knowledge that is going to be difficult to match. One, most of them have been doing it for a long time. Two, they've got one of your sons in there with them who knows probably more about meat processing than anyone I know, at least, although you might want to argue that.
No, he knows more than I do.
Okay. I was wondering if we would get some sort of.
But Kurt in there's
pushback.
Kurt might argue he might know more.
Okay. Well, yeah, but that's still in there.
Between the two of them, yeah.
Uh-huh. That's it. That's accessible to them. That wasn't accessible to the average, guy who's going to make deer sticks for the first time. So we wanted to do something to allow them to at least make the best product they could at home, and I think we've done a good enough job with that.
Absolutely.
All right. So was there anything else you wanted to talk about inventory wise?
No.
Okay. I'm going to switch gears a little bit here from somebody who has been in this industry and has worked with Excalibur for as long as we have. I want to run through a couple of different categories and get your favorite seasoning of each one. Is that something you can shoot off at the top of your head, or you need time to think on that?
Okay, well, we'll give it a whirl.
All right.
We'll give it a whirl.
Bratwurst seasoning.
My favorite bratwurst seasoning, or, my favorite, I'm going to be boring on this. This is not probably a good one.
You're going to do what Austin
I'm
does.
going to say Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, you're just going to say the best sellers in each one.
No, because because I don't know how you say favorite. I mean, there's so many that I love, but.
So let's approach favorite like this. Let's approach it as you're only going to get to have one for a long period of time.
Then it's Blue Ribbon. It has to be Blue Ribbon, because if it's Reuben or
Apple.
Yeah, apple's good, but I don't want to eat it every day.
Right. So
but I would eat Blue Ribbon every day.
Okay, but I'm not saying you're going to get to eat that one every day. I'm saying you're only going to get to have one for like a long period of time. Like you only eat that one and you don't get another bratwurst for a long time.
Oh.
Does that change your answer, or are you still going Blue Ribbon?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't probably have, I mean, there's 10 other ones other than Blue Ribbon that I like. So would I want to pick single one of those out? Probably not.
Okay. A marinade?
Yeah, that's a harder one. I don't even know if I can pick one.
Paws Black Bull doesn't.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I guess you'd say Paws Black Bull. That would be what I use the most, because that's the only thing I use on a brisket.
So, yeah, right. So and
that's the only thing I've used. Seriously, people think I'm making that up.
No.
That is the only thing I've used to make brisket for 15 years.
Yeah, there's no reason to use something else. I've now expanded Paws into chicken. Mm-hmm. I made a turkey with it last year. It was delicious. Which we have to do a turkey video here in the next couple of days.
It's kind of that time, John.
It is.
You ever think of doing that in August, just ahead of things?
No, that's no fun.
All right.
Patrick doesn't work well if he's got lots of time. I've got to keep him like, hey, you got 2 days to do this. One of the things, not to get too maudlin or emotional, but I loved your dad for a lot of reasons. He was a great guy. I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but I did not know who your father was. Somebody called in when I was in customer service and said, hey, can I talk to little Donnie Doodad? We were super busy that day. I mean, like hair on fire, couldn't keep up with all the phone calls. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? I'm like, I don't have time for these prank phone calls. And I started telling that guy, I'm like, there's no little Donnie Doodad here. And I saw Ashley stick her hand up. She's like, no. Yes,
there he is.
Like, hold on. Sorry. So little Donnie Doodad was your father was also a radio. He's a DJ.
Yeah, DJ. Yeah.
His name was Little Donnie Doodad. And he used to, is his voice still on our call-in?
Yeah, he's still on the hold messages. Yeah.
So you can call our number 1-800-835-2832. And if people are here, you can simply ask to be placed on hold. And you will hear Brett's father's voice. And it is an incredibly smooth, like just very good voice. He used to do all the media for us, and it was very, very good.
Yeah.
But one of the nicest compliments I ever got from him was 2 years ago when we were having our last open house, commercial open house. I made all the briskets, and really all I did was take the briskets, put them in the vacuum tumbler, put the correct amount of Paws Black Bull, and put them in the smoker. Nothing, crazy. But he said, that's the best brisket I've ever had in my life. And I was like, oh, yes. Like that
Nice.
feels so good.
Nice.
So good. I loved that. But yeah, so Paws Black Bull. The only other one I'll even bother using is Cyclops Greek.
Yeah. Okay.
And that I really
good.
just like on tri-tip. So I don't know. Snack stick.
You think I'm going to say Willie's.
I do.
But I'd say Tex-Mex.
Oh,
I really like the Tex-Mex.
On that one, I go boring. I think Willie's is so far above and beyond any other snack stick that
And I could say that and go along with it,
right?
Because I do love Willie's.
It really is. It's the perfect snack stick. It works across multiple proteins. Mm-hmm. It's amazing in chicken. It was incredible in pheasant. I mean, it works with everything.
So you're gonna ask me any other categories?
I am.
Okay.
Summer sausage.
Ooh, probably the tons is my favorite summer sausage. Yeah.
Well, then I've got,
which is not really popular for the retail customers. It's not one of our top sellers.
Well, here's a tough follow-up question though. Mm-hmm. Then why don't we sell it in 25-pound units?
John, you've never requested that. Nobody's ever requested me that. Nobody's ever said, hey, why don't we get this in 25-pound units?
Okay. Well, we might have to do.
But you just made me think of something that I don't want to say now, but we'll talk about it later.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. And then the last one, we're going to restrict this just to Excalibur because we've got a ridiculous number of shakers. And you can't say Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub because that would clearly be it. That would clearly be it.
Hang on. We missed it. We missed a.
Did you want to talk about jerky?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bold.
So, yes, I love the Walton's Bold. I didn't love it as much until 2-3 years ago. I have no idea how long ago it was when Dylan started talking about how we're going to make tender jerky. And he's like, no, we can do it. We just got to add extra sugar and extra water, vacuum tumble it. It's like, we're going to do this. And then honestly, as soon as we did that, Bold became my favorite jerky. And now something flipped in my brain, and whether or not we make it tender or not, Bold is my favorite jerky as well. It is an all-around excellent jerky.
You know I love it, though.
Yes, because it's Walton's.
Because it's mine.
Yes.
It's my recipe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I came up with that.
Did you really?
I did.
So what did you do? You worked with Excalibur? You told them what you wanted?
Uh-huh.
Oh. So no...
You want me to share the super secret here? That I don't even think that many people around here know, but I don't think it's that big a deal. But yes, I did come up with that because I made jerky out of Willie's snack sticks. And I called Jerry Hall, who was the owner of Excalibur then, and I'm like, I said, that Willie's came out really good, the jerky with Willie's on it, but there's too much red pepper in there. He goes, oh, yeah, if you're going to do that in jerky, why don't we reduce that? And I'm like, yeah, reduce that red pepper out of there, and then I'll give it a try, and that's Bold. It is Willie's with less red pepper.
Okay. That is pretty
amazing.
Excellent. Yeah.
Oh. So people out there want to try it and see if they can tell that difference, but it makes a tremendous jerky.
Yeah, it really definitely does.
So that's about the most scientific or that I get in creating a recipe is calling Excalibur up and tell them take something out and put my name on it. We'll call it good.
Well, you're pretty much batting 1,000, so I don't know that I'd try it again.
Yeah, I haven't tried it again.
Knocked it out of the park on the first one.
Just stop there.
I wouldn't do it again.
Okay, right. Now going on. Yeah.
So for shakers, and I will die on this hill, Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub, Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub. There's no reason to put anything else on a good steak.
Right.
I refuse to believe it. We've done tests here, blind tests without showing people what it was. We did a podcast on it. That one, running away with it. So remove that. What's your next favorite shaker?
Well, let's see. What's in the drawer that I use all the time at home? So, one that I use as much as anything, butter garlic. I use it in all kinds of stuff. Sweet and sassy garlic, which is unbelievable on a pork loin. It's great on scrambled eggs. I actually use a lot of the DOS salt free.
Do you really?
I do, because at home in the evenings, a lot of times I just grab a salad and DOS salt free with like butter garlic, because I have to put some salt in there. So I will put.
So you mix the two?
Oh yeah, I'll put the Excalibur seasoned salt or put butter garlic and then the DOS salt free, because it has a bunch of different things in it that's really good. But so those are the ones that I use really regular. But if I had to name one, I'd say probably the sweet and sassy or the butter garlic, because of what you can do with them outside of just putting them on random everyday stuff to making something like a pork loin that's super.
Yeah, those are both actually excellent calls. I love both of those seasonings. The one that I always say that doesn't get the recognition it deserves is the sea salt and vinegar wing shake. I love that thing.
Yeah, I have that
awesome.
at home. I have that at home too. Now, when people are like, well, you probably have all the seasoning at home. No, I don't. You know how many we have?
Yeah.
My wife wouldn't let me put all those in the kitchen. So we have one drawer. And when that's full, then I don't get to bring
Can't
more
take
home.
any more home. Yeah.
So, but I do have that one, and I have it some. But I don't think it's in the range of a
cucumbers. Put it on cucumbers. It's insane.
I have.
So good.
It's pretty good. Pretty good that way.
All right. So again, you're listening to this on the 16th. We're recording it on the 6th. So we haven't even shot these videos yet, but there will be sales videos going live today or may already be live. The sales that you'll be going now or getting now are from the 16th to the 20th. And then next Monday, we're going to start our Thanks Black Monday. That is a Thanksgiving, a Black Friday, and a Cyber Monday sale, or as you like to call it, Big Monday.
Big Monday.
All rolled into one. It's 3 phases. First one will go from that Monday to that Friday, which is the 30th. Second will be that Black Friday to Cyber Monday. And then the final one will be Cyber Monday only. And we haven't even talked about this, but the Cyber Monday live stream might look a little bit different this year. We've got a bunch of people doing a bunch of things, but bare minimum, I will be here. I'll have Patrick behind the computer willing to help me. Hopefully I'll have some people coming in.
Maybe
you'll
let me come in for a while on Cyber Monday.
Brett, you are always welcome to come in, especially if it gives you the chance to talk directly to the customers.
Maybe we can go out and like during the day, get some shots out and shipping.
Okay. We absolutely can. And then have B-roll, and we can even have the customers see that as you're talking about it.
Maybe we could just pop up. We have cameras out there. Maybe we could just pop up. Patrick can handle all that. It's easy for him. Just move the mouse and go click. and you could have like the live,
Oh, you're talking
cameras.
about the security cameras.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have all these cameras now everywhere. We can just like pull that in and go, hey, looky out there, what that looks like out there in shipping right now. And, hey, Nick, wave at the camera,
We can absolutely try to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine it's impossible. It's definitely possible. It's just whether or not we can figure it out in time.
Just point and click stuff.
Yes, if only. But yeah, so we've got that. And then we're in the holiday season. So after that, you'll be looking at Christmas sales, our New Year's sales and video, which is always, I think, my favorite because we throw together a bunch of bloopers at the end.
Yeah.
Now, this year we've kind of changed the way we've done a bunch of Meatgistics videos. I very rarely read off a script anymore. I just kind of get up here and start talking about whatever I'm doing. It's actually made for far less mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not misreading something or getting lost in the teleprompter. Plus, I think it comes across a little bit more natural. I don't know. I can't listen to my videos or watch them because I hate the sound of my own voice because it's not what I sound like in my head. So I actively try not to listen to that. Yeah, but I think it's worse for me.
I will have no idea what this sounds like today because who wants to listen to me? I don't. So
I think you're going to be surprised. I think you'll be surprised. But yeah, you 100%. You are absolutely welcome to come in and be part of some of or all of that marathon live stream. It is a great time, and we get a chance to talk to a ton of customers.
No, because I usually watch that. So usually I have that on if I'm in my office. Of course, that day it's kind of crazy and I'm bouncing around everywhere. But as the years go by, I have to bounce around less. So I do watch a lot of that. And if I'm here, then when you guys say something I don't like, I can actually correct you right away.
Yeah,
because usually I sit in my office with it, and then I've talked to Austin before. How do I send you guys a message where you hear? I want a screen over there in the corner, over there where you guys can see, and I can post like messages there, going, "Why did you say that? Don't give that away."
There was a live stream where it had gotten a little out of control, and you sent Austin and me an email. No, stop talking about that now. We're like, okay, moving on. We're like, we rescind that. It was very, very funny. But yeah, so we are coming up on days are already flying here. They're about to basically disappear. Walk in, you get pulled into something, and it's time to go home. So as things get ready to speed up, we are definitely staffed to deal with this year. We have we have enough people to handle everything in shipping. We have enough people answer the phones. We have enough people who are able to do multiple things. What else do you want to communicate to our customers?
Well, I just like to say thank you to everybody out there that uses, us to supply them with their meat processing supplies and equipment, from our commercial customers to our home processor customers. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy what we do. I mean, John talks about that here regularly, that he enjoys this. But you guys get out there, get to see John, or maybe you call in and get to talk to somebody in customer service or one of the sales guys. But, we have accounting, purchasing, shipping, service techs. We have all these other areas, media people that don't necessarily, you get to talk to all the time, but we're blessed with a lot of people that enjoy what they do. Our family's been blessed. A lot of times, most of the time you get to see Austin on here. Our other son Dylan's here. We also, my wife is still involved slightly, but after years of being a lot involved in doing our catalogs. Any of you that got our catalogs for years, you'll have seen the work that Sandy did over the years with the catalogs. And then, and we're so much, our whole family has been involved in this for so long, that even our oldest son that lives out in Denver, I always say he's the best sausage making petroleum engineer in the country, because he eats it up just like the rest of us and knows all this technical stuff. And then our daughter that lives in Nashville is, probably the best sausage making music industry person.
We'll drag her back one day.
Yeah. So, but she's been on videos before.
She has been. Yep,
yeah. So some people recognize Allie from being on that. But so much of what we've been, part of the last 25 years in our family has been involved in the meat industry somehow, with the meat supply or meat processing supplies. But we've met so many people over the years. So many of our friends are out there in the industry, and so it's really awesome. It's just an awesome thing to do. We've been blessed with so many people like you or Patrick over there behind the screen that we get to work with every day here. And there's and that's why a lot of people out there, their customers don't see is there's 50 people. There's roughly 50 people working here that are they're not just like John, thankfully, but they're kind of like John in that they're awesome people, and they come and they enjoy their work and they work hard, and sometimes we're not perfect at that, but most of the time we do. I think we do really well, and when we're not perfect, we hopefully fix that and move forward. And I think we would not have the continued success of increased volumes if it wasn't that we were doing some of that right and getting better. And that's something that I've told long-term employees. They've heard it many times is let's be better tomorrow than we are today. Let's be better next year than we are this year, because we want to grow and we got to get better. We have to be better to keep growing. So I appreciate everybody having that confidence in us and listening for information, because we think that's what we are. That's what we give people, is that information that makes us different than just the products. But we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and follow that. I'm just going to get out of here. Guys, thanks for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, Google Play, anything like that, 5-star reviews, it turns out, actually really does help. When you get a few, it does bump up your listenership. So please, if you enjoyed it, if you enjoy all our podcasts, go ahead and leave a review, or please email us at podcast@waltonsinc.com if you have a guest you think we should have or a topic you want us to cover. That's podcast@waltonsinc.com. And thank you very much. Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.